What's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and I decided to do some little outside filming for my next Top 10 video. And this time I will be sharing you my top 10 favorite sports-related films. This list was sent to me by a good friend of mine by the name of DLDuel1122. And to start off kind of weak and kind of weird with my number 10, I decided that my number 10 is Death Race. Now, I'm not really sure if that would really be considered a sport since, it stars Jason Statham and Tyrone Biggums or Gibson or damn, I can't even, just Tyrese. Sorry, what is going on? What is wrong with me? It was a fun little stupid film. It kind of was reminiscent of the video game Twisted Metal. And yes, I have seen these sequels, Death Race 2 and Death Race 3. They're direct-to-DVD movies. They're not really all that great, and they really serve more as prequels than an actual sequel. But I think that it's one of those dumb popcorn flicks. You bring your friends over, pick up a couple beers, and you have a good time, and nothing much. Number 9 on my list is Mighty Ducks 2. I like the first Mighty Ducks very much. However, I thought it was a little bit too generic in terms of, little town kid, coach, and he kind of inspires them to be better. At least with the second one, you see the effects of their success, and then they become Team USA, and then they kind of realize that's not what they want, and so they do a reversal, reverting back to being Ducks again. And I think that turnaround stories like that usually end up being much more interesting stories than typical, we're going to inspire this little league team to be great. So that's why it's number 9. Number 8 on my list is the newly arrived 42 Jackie Robinson film. I'm sorry, the wind just blew my door open. I'm not really a big fan of baseball, but I think they really didn't necessarily tell the story of Jackie Robinson and the kind of racism issues he was dealing with during that time as well as they could have. But I think that for a PG-13 rating, I think they really did the best they could at telling that story with the limitations that they had. If they really did go all out, I think it would have had a much more effective effect on me in terms of, actually really how bad things were. But in terms of simple sports, I would have liked to have seen more baseball. It was a little bit too much talking. Number 7 on my list is Cool Runnings, the story of the first Jamaican bobsled team. It's one of those movies that it certainly has its heart in the right place. All 4 of the Jamaican characters do have their own story arcs, and you get to really see them kind of start off rather diverse at first, but this experience and a completely unfamiliar type of sport really unites the team, and I think that's, especially for Jamaicans and trying to do with bobsledding, I think that it's one of those sports stories that really stands apart from other typical sports stories. Number 6 on my list is The Rookie with Dennis Quaid. Again, another movie that revolves around baseball. I'm not really a big fan of it, but the story of a science teacher who has like a really, really powerful pitch throw, and he wants to get into the major leagues. It's serviceable. It's got enough heart to get you through. I think what stands out the most to me is just Dennis Quaid's performance, that he kind of plays like an elderly father who tried his dream once, thought he could give it up, and then his team that he inspired turns around and inspires him to give it another try. So there's a good, how do you say, I give to you, you give it back to me, and it encourages both sides to succeed. Number 5 on my list is Radio with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Ed Harris. This one's a little weird. I really put it on my list so high because I really thought that Cuba Gooding Jr.'s performance as Radio was really phenomenal. I'm not sure if he won an award for that, but if he didn't, he should have. It's not really sports-based, but it kind of shows how a character who is a fan of sports, even though he doesn't play it, he has a very important role in really how the fundamentals of really the morale side of a football game. Even if he doesn't play it, he damn sure can be like the mascot. And even mascots, as corny as they may look, they do have their parts to play. Next on my list is number 4, and it's Brian's Song. Some of you may not know this one. I think it's been remade like twice, but the grand inspirational story of 2 friends who first divided by racism and the game of football brings them together. And you know, Bernie Mac said it better than I could have, that Brian's song is probably one of the few. I'm real sorry about the wind. It's probably one of the few movies that a grown man could actually cry to and still feel like a man. And I stand by that statement. The only other exception to that would be Terminator 2, but that's just my opinion. Number 3 on my list is Space Jam. Now, with the whole idea that athletes shouldn't really be trying to be actors, I think this is the one exception, because Michael Jordan was really playing himself, so he wasn't really trying to be anyone else. And seeing him play basketballs with all your favorite Looney Tunes characters and taking on aliens, I thought was just a fun adventure, fun movie at the time, and I still enjoy watching it to this day. I don't think that movie will ever get boring to me. So, Space Jam. Number 2 on my list is Rocky IV. Rocky IV, most people have said that Rockies 2, 3, and 4 really felt more like action flicks than the first one, which was clearly kind of a character-building story. And although I am inclined to agree, I believe that of all those action stories for Rocky, 4 clearly stands on a level of its own above 3 and 2. Drago is clearly the most intimidating, I guess, opponent Rocky's ever faced. I think he even did the most damage to him. If you see the aftermath of what happened to Rocky in Rocky V, which many people tried to pretend that movie doesn't exist. But I think it was really a David versus Goliath battle, and I think that boxing match, even if it's staged, is one of the best boxing matches I've ever seen in a film. And I'm not even all that big into boxing. And number 1, my all-time favorite sports film of all time is Remember the Titans. Again, if there was any sport that I would say I'm not really a big fan of, but I do tend to watch from time to time, it would be football. And there's no question that the story of the Titans, this high school team, and what it represents and what it stood for, and all the just brilliant performances, especially by Denzel Washington, really brings for such a unique storytelling experience that I have yet to see it be matched on any level when it comes to sports, and that is why it's my number 1. And with that, that is the end of my list. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below, and please share me. What are some of your guys' favorite sports movies? Because I'd really like to know. And if you like this video, please like, comment down below, and please subscribe to check my future movie, video game reviews, and top 10s videos. And like always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.